Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Monday, November 24th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The game against Michigan is in 5 days. If you are planning your next event, make it unforgettable with Grateful Griddle, Columbus's favorite food truck, serving up smash burgers, gourmet sandwiches, and good vibes. Book your catering today at gratefulgriddleoh.com. We're going to be talking quite a bit about the game against Michigan all week long, of course, on the Buckeye Weekly podcast feed, the Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning podcast feed, BuckeyeHuddle.com, YouTube.com/BuckeyeHuddle. You know all the places. You can find content in all of those places all week long. Right now, we're going to let you hear a little bit from Ohio State head coach Ryan Day, some of his comments after Saturday's 42-9 win over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. We're going to start with the story du jour, that is Carnell, Tate, Jeremiah Smith, their status moving forward. Obviously, neither of them played against Rutgers. Day said both of those guys are day-to-day, which is sort of an answer and also not at all an answer. But what kind of a challenge was it playing without those guys against Rutgers?
I felt like, the guys had a really good week of work in terms of focus, and it was an opportunity for guys to step up in different ways. And so, whether it was defense, special teams, or on offense, nobody really flinched. Everyone was like, "Come on, let's go play." And I think that's been sort of the approach of this team and this coaching staff. So, it'll be the same way this week, and those guys are going to fight like heck to get back on the field. But no, I thought the guys played hard today. I think the running game averaged just under 7 yards a carry, and then I think on 35 rushing attempts, we held them to 66 yards. So, that was really well done. And they came out fresh, and they had a couple of things for us that were a little bit different, coming off of the bye week. But I thought our guys handled it again, sort of businesslike. So overall, that was well done. There's obviously things that, if we think we're going to get away with fumbling the ball on the 1 yard line or putting the ball on the turf, that's going to cost us a game. We know that can happen. But overall, there was a physicality in the game that I thought, was set from the jump. And again, for the seniors, can't thank them enough publicly. I've done it before, but I want to do it again. The true warriors on the field and everything they've done, because they put it on the field. They're the ones. And so, on behalf of everybody at Ohio State, these seniors deserve to be thanked for what they've done. Certainly what they've done for me and my family and all the coaches and for the brothers. And that's why it was our obligation to make sure we did our best for them to make sure that their last game on the field was special. And I think they had a great game and they played hard. And guys like Caden Curry, what a great play he had. And, so great to see them, finish out, senior day with a win like this.
How is Ryan Day feeling right now about his depth at wide receiver if he has to play without those guys?
Yeah, I thought overall there was some good things there. I thought David had a really big third down catch. Brandon had a really big week last week. And I thought Max, stepped up in a big way. So it's a great opportunity for those guys. Brandon Ennis is a leader. He's a captain of our team. And, Bryson Rogers, Mylan, David, they've, really had an opportunity here to step up. I think there's some good things that they did. There's some things they'll get on film and get better. But, we need to play depth. Everyone knows that, and this is their opportunity.
One thing that made it a little easier for Ohio State to play without Carnell, Tate, and Jeremiah Smith was the fact that they really got the running game going against Rutgers, and they've got it going quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. So is the running game where Ryan Day wants it to be going into the Michigan game?
Well, we always want it to be better, but again, when you rush the ball 38 times for 254, I mean that's good coming out. We'll get on the film and figure out what's what. It's you got to sort through everything and figure out what the efficiency of each run was, because that's a part of it too. You can hit some big runs and maybe get fooled. I don't know exactly what our efficiency was and what went well and what didn't, but I thought guys ran hard. I thought there was some good things. There's certainly nothing's perfect, but that's what we're striving for.
Coaches always preach the fact you've got to take things one game at a time. You never want to overlook an opponent, yada, yada, yada. You've heard it all before. But it's not as easy to do as it is to say. So is Ryan Day kind of proud of his team for really taking things one game at a time, not overlooking the Rutgers team that they could have overlooked? And then with Michigan week now, where's the focus for this team?
Yeah, I do. I give the guys a lot of credit for focusing. And I think, not having both Carnell and Jeremiah allowed us to focus even a little bit more on the job at hand. Whether that really played into it or not, I don't know. But our guys have been pretty consistent that way. So now, this week, has got to be the best. We've been working towards this all year, and we want it. We know that the opponent is different. We know what's at stake. We know we're playing for hardware now, but at the end of the day, it's still about us. We can't all of a sudden change things, and so we want to keep it as routine as we can, knowing that again, now we're playing for hardware, and not only gold pants, but also an opportunity to get to Indy.
All right, you can be honest. There was probably a point in about the third quarter where Ohio State got it, maybe 28-3 or so, when I think everyone sort of mentally turned the page from, okay, this game is now over, to, hey, guess what's on deck? So did Ryan Day maybe start thinking about Michigan before the Rutgers game even ended?
They're always, in the back of our mind in terms of what we're working towards. We know this is the last game of the year and what it means to everybody here. So, it doesn't take long in the fourth quarter once the game was in hand to, everybody start figuring out, this thing's coming fast, and it was just a good look in everybody's eye in the locker room, man. We're excited about this one, and just need to focus on what really matters, and that's everybody just doing their job, and going on the road, and what's going to be a great environment, and going to get it done. So that'll be the focus, and we'll continue to do what we've done all year. That's it, and have a great week, and focus on that day. And the coach's job, is to give them a great plan, and we got to be at our best. Everybody has to be at their best and play really, really hard.
The Ohio State football program has 3 goals every season. Number 1, beat Michigan. Number 2, win the Big Ten. Number 3, win the national championship. Those are the goals. They've been very consistently the goals the whole time that Ryan Day has been the head coach. So is Ryan Day proud of the fact that with those 3 goals still ahead of them, this whole team and the senior class that was honored Saturday in the Horseshoe has been able to just stay focused and not get distracted and not look ahead and really stay on task all season to finish 11-0 going into that Michigan game now?
Well, yeah, you've heard us talk about this, really focusing on the process, because it's easy to just say, I want to get to the last game of the year. But if that happens and you get distracted, you can get upset, and then all of a sudden your season can take a turn bad. I feel like we've focused on us. I felt like, we've been consistent in our approach. And so now, but that's all, in preparation for this week. And so we have to continue to do that very thing. And that's what it's going to be. But to your point, I think when we talked about chopping wood and carrying water from the jump, like that's what this was about, was to making sure that we weren't just saying, hey, let's just get to the end of the year and everything that comes with it. And so now we go. But along the way, when you think about how fast the season's gone, it seems like it's gone really, really fast. But then again, you think about that first game against Texas, and that seems like a year ago. Just how different this team is now from when it first started, and so all the work that we've put in is now got a show for us, and that'll be the focus this week.
The running game has really gotten rolling the last few weeks, but of course they haven't really played great run defenses, which obviously helps you run the ball pretty well. So is this running game now ready for the better defenses they're going to play?
I think you've seen a lot of progress throughout the year. I think you've seen guys get better, and I think every time these running backs touch the ball, they're getting better. So we've been working at it, and you're seeing a lot of progress being made. And again, now we got to be at our best.
Ryan Day has been talking about how they really would need to see a home run in the running game, and towards the end of that game, they got one. The long touchdown for James Peoples near the end of the game. Is that the big one they've been looking for?
Yeah, I mean, a 50-yard run for a touchdown is a big hit, and when you get explosive runs like that, but it takes execution. I thought on that play, our right tackle, Justin Terry, and Jelani Thurman did an excellent job coming off for the second level, and then Nate Roberts did a really good job on the secondary guy, and then we made a guy miss in a hole, and that's how it works. You need great execution, but you got to make a guy miss. So I thought our O-line did a decent job, for the most part, of getting guys to the second level. There was some things that we got to, hit cleaner, but that's part of the run game as well. And when we get, positive plays in a run game and we stay on schedule, then, that's when we're at our best.
And finally, there has been a lot of talk on this. The whole press conference basically was about the offense. It was about the wide receivers and the run game and all that kind of stuff. Is it nice for them to just sort of know that the defense is just going to be there? The defense is just going to do its job. They're the first team since Oklahoma in the late 80s to go through their first 11 games without allowing more than 17 points to any opponent. That is a pretty remarkable stat. Is it nice to go into a game when there's a little uncertainty on the offensive side of the ball to know the defense has got it?
Yeah, well, it's a team effort, and when you see, us executing special teams the way we've done the last couple of weeks, we pin the ball on the 1 yard line on the pooch. That all matters. And when you're playing team ball like that, yeah, they work off of each other. And yeah, certainly, as you know, when you get turnovers like that and the ball's on a 1 yard line, and even though we made that an adventure, that's team football. And it's offense's first job to take care of it, and then run the ball and then become explosive and then score touchdowns in a red zone. And when your defense is playing well, it certainly helps. But each game is its own story, and we need to be at our best in all three phases and get a team win.
All right, so there you go. What Ryan Day had to say after the Ohio State win over Rutgers. We're going to have much more coverage coming for you all week long at BuckeyeHuddle.com and on the Buckeye Weekly podcast feed. Go ahead and take a second, subscribe to that one. The Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning podcast feed, go ahead and take a second to subscribe to that one. Whatever your podcast platform of choice is fine. You can find them in all of them. And also make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/BuckeyeHuddle. We're going to have a ton of coverage coming all week long. You've got a lot of traveling to do. We'll try and load your feed with podcasts before you hit the road. And then we will be up in Ann Arbor on Friday when the Buckeyes get there. Going to be a lot to talk about all week long. We hope you're there to talk to us about all of it at BuckeyeHuddle.com and youtube.com/BuckeyeHuddle. That'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.